Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I will be taking another one of my articles that I wrote in 2015 and I will be turning it into a video article. The name of this video article is called A Galaxy is Born. I am turning this article into a flashback video article. What that means is that this article was written before I came to the conclusions and realizations that I have now come to. So, if you haven't watched any of my earlier videos, I definitely recommend you check out my playlist called The Majestic Crystal Universe, and I recommend that you have watched some of my earlier videos in that playlist. Some of the videos I recommend that you have already watched are The Big Bang and the Expanding Universe, The Crystal Universe, The Pineal Gland in the Crystal Universe, and I recommend you have watched my video series called Mass, Matter, Function, Interaction of Momentum, a 5-part video series. Check those videos out after this one if you have not already watched them. Now, I have to say, again, I wrote this particular article in 2015. It was a little rough around the edges, so I had to rewrite parts of it to make it flow a little bit better. That being said, the reason why I'm creating this article as a flashback video article is because these articles are fundamental in the process that I was going through to come to the conclusions and realizations that I have now come to. This is the reason I am taking these old articles that I wrote in 2015, 2016, and up until now and putting them into video article format. So there is a record of them so that they are in the catalog and archives. This post has been edited for punctuation, grammar, and as I said, to flow better, with no major revisions or elaborations. Now that being said, after I read this post, I do elaborate on this idea a little bit more after I read the post. So there is a little bit of explanation at the end of this video. Okay, so with that introduction out of the way, let me go ahead and read the article. Now this is called A Galaxy is Born. This is the new version. Originally, I wrote this article on March 15th, 2015. Now this is the article, A Galaxy is Born New. As galaxies can have several beginnings, let us talk about a spiral galaxy similar to our Milky Way Galaxy. In this version of Galactic Creation, we will be using the same process that creates a star. In the universe, there is a large cloud of hydrogen gas, and as the gas cools, it compresses and creates a large star. Its compression is not balanced, and because all the matter doesn't fall inwards in a completely balanced fashion, it creates a spinning effect on the inward velocity of the circular formation, and the newly born star is rotating. Now, this star is not the same size as our sun. This star is a red hypergiant, a very big star. The star is born, and it is massive. This one star is the weight of an entire galaxy. As the star goes through quote-unquote solar cycles of heating and compressing, then cooling, with the outer layers hardening, relatively speaking, and the internal pressure then increasing until it novas and blasts off layer after layer of matter, creating a gigantic bubble of matter all around itself. As the star is spinning and has an axis, the matter starts to push outwards at the equator, while the matter at the poles starts to get sucked in by the rotational force, and the star forms a disc-shaped spiral around itself. This disc stretches and pulls away from the central star due to the angular momentum, and so it pulls outwards, moving further and further away from the central star. Within this newly formed disk, large clumps of mass and matter give birth to even more stars. These quote-unquote second-generation stars, while not as large as the central star, go through the exact same process as the central star. And the second-generation stars nova and create disks of material around themselves. But because the cores of the mass that result from the novas of the second-generation stars are not large enough, the smaller second-generation stars give birth to planets instead of more stars, in parentheses, or even possibly a mix of both planets and stars within their solar systems, end of parentheses. As for the central star, this solar cycle of heating and compressing, exploding, expanding, and compressing, all the while the star is fusing and converting the elements within the elemental layers into denser and denser elements, creating a denser and denser core, composed primarily of iron.
Intense temperatures and pressure ignite nuclear fusion reactions in their cores. Hydrogen gas turns to helium, oxygen, carbon, calcium, silicon, all the way to iron.
The cycle repeats itself over and over again until there is a tipping point in the star where enough iron has amassed in the core. At this finite tipping point, the central star collapses and becomes a black hole. By the time this happens, this central solar system is so big it is actually now a galaxy. This cycle can occur in multiple configurations, with possibly multiple stars originally at the center, or a combination of a central star and equal or almost equal sized stars in orbit around the center, in turn creating all sorts of funny shapes and configurations, with most, if not all, forming up into a standard structure we call the spiral galaxy. Some galaxies simply have a large cluster of solar systems at their center that end up creating the galaxy, but they are all born in about the same scenario. And they all have a tendency to form up and create the spiral galaxy. I wrote that on March 15th, 2015. Okay, so I had to edit this post because it was too raw or basic in its original draft, and also because I want to add to this post. This is the idea. As I have stated in my other videos, motion of matter equals gravity, which equals energy plus about 10%. The takeaway is that motion of matter equals an increase in matter. In parentheses, matter is in a multidimensional phase change process that produces an excess of energy and therefore matter. End of parentheses. Okay, so what this translates to is that as the stars rotate around the center of the galaxy, they gain matter. They become more massive. So, over time, they grow and grow and grow. The stars in the galaxy use the central star as a quote-unquote pole, a gravitational pole, or anchor for them to use to spin around. And as they move outward from the center of the galaxy, they should start to slow down. But, as I have recently talked about in my video called Dark Matter vs. Dark Energy, the stars do not slow down as they move out away from the center. They have a tendency to maintain a fixed radial position. In order for them to maintain a quote-unquote fixed radial position while also moving out away from the center, there has to be an increase in their velocity. This key point is the realization that I came to in my investigation into how the universe works, and it is this very point that has perplexed the scientific community. If the stars in the galaxy are slowly moving out away from the center, while at the same time they are increasing their velocity and speed to maintain their radial position, so that the entire galaxy is spinning like a wheel and not like a vortex, then that would indicate that the stars are conscious of this. In parentheses, and as I have stated in many of my earlier videos, but I will not get into too much here, the cores of the cosmos are naturally occurring crystal core quantum computers, and they are not just giant balls of gas or stupid rocks flying around the universe. The very definition of cosmos is the universe seen as a well-ordered whole, and the cores of the cosmos, the black holes, stars, planets, protoplanets, moons, etc., are intelligent. They know that moving through the universe allows them to grow, just like how all crystals grow. Factoring in the idea that motion of matter equals gravity and energy plus about 10%, as the stars move through the positively charged universe, they literally are able to increase their physical mass and matter. So, as they rotate outwards, how do they increase their velocity? They have to consciously increase their velocity to maintain a radial position. And they do this through gravity waves and the use of gravity assist. Using the central star as a pole to swing around, they also use each other, other stars nearby. They can quote-unquote join. Think of soulmates, S-O-U-L mates, as in S-O-U-L mates, S-O-L mates. Think of soulmate, soulmate, soulmate. Think of soulmates. And they rotate around each other, and they rotate around the central star. Most stars in the universe are binary star systems.
Now, most of the stars in the sky are actually members of binary systems.
And they use gravity assist to simultaneously rotate around themselves and the center. Stars are able to use electromagnetic vibrations and literally create gravity waves that propel them in the desired direction. The form of the spiral galaxy and the stars, all working and cooperating with each other to move faster and faster and grow, gives rise to a structure that truly has the potential to be eternal, growing and growing, bigger and bigger, larger and larger, so massive, so ancient. And when you look at the universe, this is what you are seeing, an eternal ballet of the machinery of the cosmos. And this solid form and structure gives rise to the quote-unquote surface of life. But that is for another video. While I wrote this article before I had come to the conclusions and realizations that I have now come to, I am glad I was able to revisit it and elaborate on it a little bit more. While, in this flashback video article, I am not building upon or presenting this concept with detailed and elaborate visual graphics, the concept is the foundation of the entire majestic crystal universe theory, and is the key to unlocking the secrets of how the universe works. I will be revisiting and elaborating upon this concept more in upcoming videos, and I hope to be able to graphically express this in great detail, but that is for another video. With all of that said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Stay tuned, I will have more videos like this for you shortly. Thank you for watching. Matter is in a multidimensional phase change process that produces an excess of energy, and therefore matter. Motion of matter equals gravity, which equals energy, plus about 10%. Swim, swim, faster and faster to infinity and beyond. Go good gold god game. Yummy, yum, yum.